Hey folks, it's Jim. Some of you are probably having a little trouble, if you have a bad back and so forth, trying to lift this heavy machine and be able to service it or work on it in some way that you may have to or something like that. And so I've come up with a little solution for me, because this is an abstract frame, to accomplish that. Let me open with a disclaimer. Do not do this at your own risk. This is not safe. Do not do this at home. Okay? Again, do not do this at home. Do this at your own risk. This is not safe. Okay, now, I don't know what your aptitudes are. I don't know what your ability to read and understand what tolerances are for. In this case, we're going to need rope, pulleys, and we're going to need hooks, right? And by setting this up this way, I can take the whole thing down and use my pulleys on other projects and things like that. I can set this up and take it down in 5 minutes, which is really nice. So when it comes to servicing the bike, it makes it really simple. And if I were doing this in my garage, which wouldn't be maybe as high as this, I wouldn't be able to, I would have to get those pulleys out of the way, wouldn't I? I can leave the hooks, but I've got to get those pulleys out of the way. They're hanging down. So anyway, just something to think about. And we also have a third pulley at the bike seat tube, right? And one thing I will say is, make sure you cover your seat tube or it might get scratched up by the pulley, okay, as you lift it. That's just what I do. I covered my seat tube or my seat post just to make sure that I didn't scratch it. I'm working with rope, folks. Here I'm just using a little rope, but I know how to knot tie, quick release knots, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know your skills or what your abilities are and whatnot. So, think all this stuff through if you were to ever attempt this at your home, okay? And I don't know what your aptitudes are and your abilities are. Now, some of you just looked at what I showed you and said, man, I can have that done in 15 minutes, like I did. Some of you are going, I don't know about that. So if you're one of those that's going, I don't know about that, you might want to ask for help, okay, if you were to try something like this. And there's a lot of modifications you can make to this. I'd like to keep things simple, is what I like to do. So this is just the way I did it. And and that solves the problem for working on the LECTRIC XP for me. If all I had were a garage, I would do it in a garage. But again, you need to know where tie-in points are, where solid tie-in points are, and that's structurally safe, okay? So this is an overbuilt carport with a gravel pad underneath it, so I can't use a shop crane here. I could have used a hoist, right? But I don't want chain dangling next to my bike either outside, because if the wind comes up and the chain starts rattling on the bike, say I'm in having lunch, well then, trouble, scratch bike. So I didn't want to use a hoist either, a chain hoist. So, just food for thought. I don't really want chain around my bike, just in case, you know what I mean? And that's a simple dog leash that I use to tie in that point over there. And what you would want to do, by the way, okay, so we have a tie-in point over there. If we want to really stabilize this, just tie in over here. And now the 2 points, right, are now stabilizing the bike. Because for me, I'm just not using it because it's pretty stable for me. And I want to be able to walk around the bike freely, okay? So that's just for me, all right? Now some of you may not care about that. Some of you are watching this video going, I'm never going to work on my bike anyway. But some of you may just be saying, hey, there's a simple solution. You probably got everything in your garage. This whole project was free for me. I had the shank of rope, I had the pulleys, I had the hooks in the garage, I could see the vision, and had this done in 20 minutes. And many of you are just like that. You probably can see the solution and do it like I do. And many of you maybe are not. You're great at other things. You know what I mean? So just, depends. And again, I'm not vouching for safety of any kind on this, and my disclaimer is do not do this at home. This could be extremely unsafe, right? So, but again, even if you don't have any of the pulleys or anything around, This project would probably at most cost 25 bucks if you needed the rope, the pulleys, and the hooks. You know what I mean? And again, be careful about where you tie in your structure, whatever structure you're trying to tie into. Make sure you know about, building stresses and things of that nature. And if you don't, ask for help, or, find somebody that does immediately. Do not do this at home again. That is my disclaimer. Yeah, because I just don't know who you are and what your aptitudes are. You're going to need to know the rope tolerance, the pulley tolerance, the hook tolerance, right? The stress tolerance for the structure you're tying into, all of that, okay? You really need to absolutely make sure you know what you're doing if you were to even think about attempting this, right? And I'm just saying that over and over again because I don't want somebody just thinking they can Mickey Mouse this and possibly not have a failure that could lead to a catastrophic problem, right? Or injury or whatever, okay? Traditional bike stands just don't work for these bikes. Generally, you can try it if you want. I don't like them because they're intrusive as well. I can't walk around the bike with that bike stand in the way. And then you've got a piece coming out under the floor. That's why I don't like using the shop crane either, because I've got those dang tubes on the floor to stabilize everything. Here I have nothing on the floor. I can move willy-nilly around the bike. I can move my chair around the bike. I don't have anything that I have to get out of my way. I can simply have a little stand, or I can even hang my shop bag right off the bike itself for all my tools and parts and everything like that. And this is the way I'm doing the LECTRIC XP. Now, whatever you choose to do is your business, and whatever you come up with is your business. And again, why do I like doing projects like this? Because, well, I was with the Marine Corps for quite a bit of time, and we were under General Gray at that time, and his motto was, the Marine Corps will do more with less, and so our budgets weren't that great, and we had to adapt, improvise, and overcome. So when it comes to solving a problem like this, I truly enjoy the moment, and I feel really good when I accomplish this. And again, this only took like 20 minutes, and I kind of saw the vision and knew where all the parts were and just threw it together in 20 minutes, and that was that. And now the beauty of it is I can undo the whole thing in 5 minutes, can't I? And those pulleys can come right off those hooks, and I can repurpose those pulleys anywhere I need them. So that's the other thing I enjoy about doing projects like this. I can plan that into my project. Can I repurpose what I'm using, or is all these parts stuck for one thing? No. Everything here can be repurposed in 5 minutes for something else. And that's another part of accomplishing tasks like this. We've reduced the weight of the bike by 70% or more, depending on how good your pulleys are and where you've positioned them, correct? So, it just has to do with leverage and all that stuff, and hoists and hoist principles, things of that nature. But, and I enjoy stuff like this because I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm also older, and I have a bad back. Some of you young bucks can throw this up on a bike stand, and you're good to go. But some of us, trying to lift and put this thing on a bike stand might put us down for a week, for gosh sakes. So by reducing the weight about 70%, this makes the LECTRIC XP tolerable for me. And I like to tune my own bikes. I like to form a relationship with the machines that I'm using in my life. I want to know everything about them so that if I do have a failure out on the road, I don't have to call somebody for help generally. I can handle it myself. So I need this, I needed this apparatus for the LECTRIC XP. This also helps me with other things, by the way. I was tuning the Rad Rover in the shop, the garage shop, with a shop crane. But what I found annoying were the shop crane feet, always in the way. I got to step over them. I got to walk around. I got to bend my neck under the arm of the crane, and I don't want that. I want to walk around the bike. I want to be free. I want to be able to hang my tools right on the bike if I want. You know what I mean? And have everything where I need it instead of, But anyway, the shop crane hoist. If you got a place to secure a hoist in your shop or whatever, your life is easy. But for many people, they don't have that. So anyway, this is just my solution to the abstract situation we have with the Electric XP and being able to get it up in the air and reduce that weight enough so that most of us can handle it. And I'm pretty confident that my 76-year-old neighbor could come over and hoist this bike right up, tie it off, and do a tune-up. But anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope life's treating you good. Yeah, adapt, improvise, overcome, if you have the aptitude and the ability. Again, one more time, do not do this at home. This could be extremely unsafe if you absolutely do not know what you're doing, okay? However, for me, it was a very simple project. I was able to repurpose other things. It was free for me, and I had it done in 20 minutes. And many of you who've looked at it, one more time, are probably laughing, going, I can have that done in 20 minutes. And hopefully you know about tolerances and you do it safely. But for, again, my last time, do not do this at home. This could be extremely unsafe. And do this at your own risk. That is my disclaimer. Jim out.